dinner.
Okay. What a day. What a day. For once in my life, I had all the right answers. And the customers asked all the right questions. Like when old man Austin began to dig his spurs into my recloser story. Boy, oh boy. I guess this is a day that comes to a salesman once in a lifetime. And it started so miserably. I hate these 7 o'clock meetings. I guess the boss couldn't get the gang together any other time. Maybe worthwhile, though. If it'll help me make a buck, I'll be congratulating myself for attending. But if it's as uneventful as one of those meetings I went to, maybe I'll get a seat in the back. Catch a few winks.
I know that I don't have to tell you how important product knowledge can be, or why it's just about the most important selling tool you possess. But really, product knowledge is the best way you can create sales. And if you combine your product knowledge with a little imagination, a flair for presenting a story...
I've heard this story 100 times already. But for some strange reason, today it means something. Must have something to do with this guy up there talking. He reminds me of somebody. That's what it is. Or is it? Must be someone I know real well. I know. It must be... Sure, it must be old Uncle Ben. Now, there was a guy I could really talk to. Too bad there aren't more guys like Uncle Ben in this world. And to think I haven't seen him in 10 years. Well, he made more of an impression on me than I realized. Boy, that was a guy I could talk to.
Last hour.
And listen to.
You ought to be able to boost both your sales volume and your income on each of the 5 product lines we've covered. Put this knowledge to work for you today and every day. To create sales of meters, distribution transformers, reclosers, lightning arresters and cutouts, and outdoor lighting. You will be delighted with the dividends it pays. All right.
My gosh. That face again. Maybe it wasn't. No, I'm sure it was Uncle Ben. That was a guy I could really talk to. Funny, I never noticed the resemblance between him and Thompson before. How are you today, Tom?
Busy as usual. What can I do for you?
I've got something new here that I'd like to show you. I think I can show you a way to increase your company's revenue up to $5 per customer per year. And with a very small investment.
Yeah, Charlie, you guys are all alike. The same thing your competitor told me yesterday. And all I have to do is buy what you guys are selling, huh?
I know, Tom. And you're probably tired of hearing that. But I've got something here you really might be interested in. Right away, you'll see that my idea can pay off in an extra $1 to $5 per customer per year. All you've got to do is start a systematic meter retirement program.
Meter retirement's the least of my worries. Not having a bit of trouble with my meters. If you guys didn't build them so good, I might be buying some. Oh, my meters have been running fine for years and years. And I bet we'll have them out there for a lot more.
There's no doubt about it. Your meters will run for years more. But the fact is, the load is expanding far beyond the capabilities of old meters. Yesterday's meters have been sort of caught with their capacities down. They can't record the total load. And when they can't, you lose money.
Yeah, but it's so little, Charlie. Why should I worry about it?
Little. You multiply that $1 to $5 by every customer you have and see where you get. It used to be so little, but not anymore. You see, up until about 25 years ago, meters weren't designed to handle any overload. They'd measure up to their ratings, say 5, 10, 15 amps, nothing more. Well, that was okay in 1935. But today, you can't use a 10-amp meter to measure 40-amp loads. At least you can't and expect a meter to load accurately. Instead of measuring 1,000 kilowatt hours, it'll record only 890. And there you are, with an 11% loss of revenue for your utility in every billing period.
Well, I suspect you're right. But every time I test the meters, they check out pretty close to perfect.
Well, I'm sure the report is accurate. But you didn't check the meters at 40 amps, did you? Where they're performing a good portion of the time? With the average annual residential consumption now approaching $100 per family, a slow meter can cost you from $1 to $5 a year. Now, you multiply this by your total number of customers, and you'll see what it means to the utility. So you're paying for up-to-date meters, whether you install them or not. Planned meter retirement will mean increased revenues for you and will give you a higher return on your metered dollar over the next 30 years.
I don't know, but it is interesting. Helen, call Haley and tell him I won't be able to make it for another hour.
Right.
Charlie, you've been mentioning this for years. How come it's so important all of a sudden?
Well, have you added any appliances to your house over the last year? I have, and so has everybody else. Sure, I told you about this last year, and it was important then. But it's more important now, with the recent boost in load growth. Look at what it means to you right now. Let's take a meter that's on the fence. Now look at the cost of metering an installation with an old meter against the new GE I-60 meter for the next 30 years. Start with the cost of the new I-60. Now we can assume that your old meter costs you nothing at this point in its life. Look at the average daily expenses of metering. First, there's normal maintenance. Then there's emergency work, overloading and lightning burnouts. The new meter will save you quite a bit here. But here's the big one. Revenue loss. Now look at this curve. A 5-amp watt-hour meter built before 1927 can be as much as 2% slow with just a single 1,000-watt appliance on the circuit. If your customer loads the circuit up to 4 times the meter rating, he gets an automatic 11% discount from the meter. And he gets that even though the meter shows perfect calibration at both the full load and light load checkpoints. Now, when you total up all these costs, Uncle Ben, Tom, and you'll see that the old meter will cost you $8.68 a year just to keep it on the line. The brand new GE I-60 will cost you only 53 cents over a 30-year period. And to help you figure out exactly what this means to you, we prepared a new publication called Stop Losing Money with Old Meters.
Sounds all right. Tell you what, take this in and show it to Mr. Lang. Helen, you better schedule Haley for this afternoon.
Hello, Charlie. Come on in. If you're here to try to sell me reclothers again, I'll tell you right now, I'm not buying. Come on in. How's the family?
Fine, thank you, Mr. Austin. I am here to talk about reclosers.
I thought so.
You can relax. I just want to bring you up to date on the current GE recloser story. You see, we're battling hard to overcome some unfortunate early problems. I'm sure you know about them. We think we've cured it.
Like taking in enough water for Saturday night's bath.
Let's face it, it did happen. Naturally, we don't advertise it, but we'll admit it. But GE licked that problem long ago. And I think you'll be the first to admit that it was taken care of in good faith. We're still ribbed about it, though.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Let me show you how thoroughly GE tests their reclosers today. Look at this picture of their water test in Philadelphia. They immerse these units right in a tub of water. And this one of their operating tests. These tests assure absolute reliability, enable us to market what's probably the most reliable unit available today. As far as that goes, something else you ought to know. We've really jumped into this market. We're starting to sell more reclosers than ever before. Just to give you an indication of the kind of acceptance we're getting, based, I'm sure, on the fact that GE has not had a single water complaint in more than 2 years. Our recloser business has doubled in the last 12 months. And we expect it to double again, and perhaps again. Now, this is an indication of the benefits General Electric reclosers offer rural co-ops like yours. For example, think of the way these reclosers can pay off on your line.
Wait a minute. Back up a notch. What's GE done to make its recloser any better than it was 2 years ago?
Okay. First, we've made them completely compatible. That means it will coordinate with the GE or any other hydraulic recloser. Second, GE has 2 new field adjustment features, which permit you to vary operating sequences to meet the different requirements of your system. Third, because of our new quality control standards, the highest in the industry, we feel we now offer the most reliable recloser on the market.
Hey, I did say I wasn't going to try to sell you any reclosers. Charlie, I didn't take that seriously, and neither did you. Go on with your story. I'm interested. Hello, Charlie. Anything wrong? Sit down. I'll be right with you.
No, honey, you just reminded me of someone. It's not important. But I have got something very important to say about General Electric's new lightning arresters and cutouts.
Wait a minute. Save your breath. You know how I feel about that. The cutouts are cut out. They're all alike. Now, if you can show me how your GEs can hang any better, then I'm interested.
They really aren't alike, Arnie. Here, let me show you something new we've got. We call it a gas load brake.
Sounds pretty fancy. What's it mean?
Well, here's an easy way for me to demonstrate the principle behind it. Now, suppose this match were your arc. Now, I shake up this bottle a little bit to free the CO2. Let it escape, the match goes up. This gas load brake means that each cutout can be used as a full load brake switch. Makes possible quick, simple, and safe load interruptions for repairs or maintenance.
Suppose you show me how this gas load brake thing works. Still from Missouri, you know. Been proud of it.
Okay, I'll show you. While the conventional cutout may provide adequate protection for your distribution equipment, your men will have to spend a good deal of time closing down the line to make repairs and maintain equipment. Not only that, your customers will be left without electricity while the line is closed. With the GE gas load brake, however, that's no problem. You can install them on all feeder and branch circuits, as well as transformer and capacitor banks, and greatly reduce the number of customers inconvenienced by service outages. All you do is pull this trigger. The end of the cartridge burns off, CO2 is released, and extinguishes the arc. Simple. Then you reload with a new cartridge, and you're cut in again.
Sounds like a pretty good idea. But how much do I have to pay for this little advantage?
It's not a question of how much it'll cost, Arnie, but how much you'll save. Gas load brake is provided at no extra cost on enclosed cutouts, and for just $1 for the operating mechanism on open cutouts. So you see, the price is right in line with mechanical break-the-link forms. And it's a great deal cheaper than the fancy $150 load brake tools. What's more, the GE gas load brake is easy to operate, requires only a standard switch stick, and is extremely reliable. With this, the lineman is in complete control of the load brake operation at all times. You know your lineman will use it because it's not only reliable, but it makes their work easier.
Let's see. How much do you say these things cost in 100 lots? Of course, don't know where we put 100 of them right now, you understand.
Be with you in a minute, Charlie.
There's no question in my mind that this is the greatest development in distribution transformers in the past decade, Mac.
Oh, insulation is insulation. That's what I get so excited about. You got Permalex. Somebody else got something that sounds just as impressive. What interests me most is the price. What's it cost?
Well, believe it or not, Permalex may make GE's the least expensive transformer buy for you, Ben.
Huh? You call me Ben?
I meant when, Mac. When you stop to consider that Permalex insulation lets you load your distribution transformers an additional 20% over the present 150% loading. This means savings for you, Mac. Why, a 15 kVA unit can handle a job you'd normally specify a 25 kVA unit for. You know how overloads shorten conventional transformer life. Permalex avoids going to higher ratings for extra capacity.
Now you interest me, Charlie. Tell me, exactly what makes Permalex so much better than any other insulation?
Here's the whole story, Mac. The Permalex system uses Formex enamel wire and a craft paper layer treated by a special process, cyanoethylation. This is what retards the aging of insulation during overload, and in return reduces operation costs. For instance, Mac, with ordinary insulation, overloads cause a water and sludge formation in the insulating oil. It's a major factor in reducing transformer life. Permalex retards this water and sludge formation and results in 20% increased loadability with no change in life expectancy, and gives you 5 times longer transformer life at present loads, or a combination of both. And of course, Permalex is just one of the features in the new GE distribution transformer. You get mellow last finish on the covers that prevents outages caused by birds and squirrels, and eliminates the need for special guards or terminal taping. Mellow last alone helps to reduce utility operating and maintenance costs.
Excuse me, Mr. Harrison.
Your secretary said you were out here. Anything special I can do for you? It sounded rather urgent over the phone.
It is.
That face again.
The commission made the decision to buy your lights while I was away. Although I may be putting the cart before the horse, I want somebody to convince me that we got the best buy for our dollar.
This is the kind of sales job I like best. When I've got the order before I start selling.
Except that you'd better do a good job of convincing. You haven't delivered them yet, you know. I just picked this one up to have a good look at them.
Then I'll get right to it. This GE Luminaire you've got is one of the fastest selling street lights in the industry today. And there are many very good reasons for that. Here, let me show you. It's tough. This exclusive shatterproof acrylic refractor on the 250 watt unit, the model used on residential and light traffic streets where vandal damage frequently occurs, won't break easily. Watch this. How's that for strength? I doubt if your town's youngsters are skillful enough to get at these lights with a hammer. Another feature, built-in ballast. Saves up to 30 minutes on wiring during each installation, even on wood poles, and eliminates the $50 to $65 cost of a transformer base for external ballast on metal or concrete poles. The Type M's multi-position socket makes it possible to change light distribution patterns right on the spot for different width streets. And finally, the Type M's GE cadmium sulfide control gives you automatic dusk to dawn operation.
Okay. Sounds pretty good to me.
While I'm here, you might be interested in hearing about this light's new little brother that I brought along. GE's Acrylic Suburban.
It's a new little brother.
Sure. Take a look at it. It's just right for suburban streets, driveways, roadside businesses, parking lots. And it has an open refractor built of the same tough acrylic plastic that you have on the M250s.
We do have to spend a lot for broken glass in suburban areas. Is this one filament or mercury?
It's both. It can take filament lamps up to 6,000 lumen. Oh, there's a model with a ballast built right into the hood for mercury lamps up to 250 watts. And it has the same dependable photoelectric control, too. Why, this little baby can do 101 lighting jobs for you.
Okay. I guess the commission knew what it was doing. Come into the office. I want to talk to you about the new stool-round lighting.
must be Mother. I'll let her in. Hi, Mom. China's in the living room. Go on in. I'll be in a minute.
I kind of wanted to relax tonight. I feel so good after today. I might even enjoy talking to my mother-in-law. Hello, Mom. Come on in. Strangest thing happened to me today. You remember my Uncle Ben? Well, today,